All right, welcome back to Wildcard Wednesday. We are taking a look at R.I.P.D. Rest in Peace Department. It came out in 2013. Stars Ryan Reynolds, Jeff Bridges, Kevin Bacon, Mary Louise Parker, and is directed by Robert Schwendick. Sorry if I mispronounced your name, dude. Alright, so I remember this came out and I saw the trailers, and a lot of people were comparing this to Men in Black. They said, oh, this is just Men in Black with dead people, and yeah. And then, reviews started coming out, and they were saying, oh, it's Men in Black meets Ghostbusters, and yeah. But I've been watching reviews today, and, I watched, three reviews, all very negative reviews, and I want to know why. Don't get me wrong. It's not a great movie, but I wouldn't call it terrible. Between bad and good, bad. I think it's an okay film. I enjoyed it for what it was. Here's Don't forget, this was based on a comic book. And when a comic book came out, they said they're ripping off Men in Black. What is wrong with doing what Men in Black did, but with dead people? Nothing. And in that respect, in that prospect, I think it's handled well. It's very much like Men in Black, which I don't understand why I didn't sell this to Sony and try to do a crossover, because I think it would have worked. But it is kind of like Men in Black, as, there's a guy, he's brought in as a rookie, but in this version, he dies. He's played by Ryan Reynolds, his name is Nick, and he's brought in and he's paired with an older veteran, which he's dead, so older is really not a word, but his name is Roy, or Roy Cephas, played by Jeff Bridges. And he is trained to take down deados, which are, dead people who haven't passed over. They're bad dead people that haven't passed on to the next phase of their life, which is down there. Yeah, so basically they gotta hunt them down. So, yeah, that's basically the premise. I don't hate this movie. I thought it was actually decent. So Nick is a police officer, which I think it's set in Boston or something. Not exactly sure where it takes place, but he's dating this French woman, or he's married to her. They're husband and wife. You see him, digging up or burying something, and you find out later that it's gold that he and his partner, Kevin Bacon, found and during a bust. They're crooked cops, basically. But Nick tells his partner that he's going to hand in the gold. Kevin Bacon doesn't like that, and so during a routine drug bust thing or whatever, he shoots Nick, and Nick dies. Now, the first little thing I want to point out here is that they say, oh, you have to serve in R.I.P.D. because you're a bad cop and you're going to go to hell for what you've done. But he was about to give the gold back. Now, I'm sure he may have done other things before this, but in my eyes, the only thing I've seen is that. And the fact that he's going to give it back should mean something, but it doesn't, I guess. And he meets Roy, who was supposedly the best lawman in the West when he was alive. So, how is he forced to be there then if he was the best lawman? Wouldn't that mean he was a good person? We never really get much of Roy's backstory. We don't really get much time to learn who Nick is. We know he's married. We know he has a partner. We know he's a crooked cop. And then he dies, and that's it. And the one thing I want to say is that there's really no mystery as to what's going on, especially when something is revealed. So they track down Robert Nepper's character here, and when they finally take him down, because he's a deado, apparently spicy food is what brings a deado out. Which there's a problem with that. We'll get to that later in the film, but spicy food apparently brings that out. But anyway, so they capture him and he pukes up the gold. And so right away, oh, Kevin Bacon's the bad guy. And then when they make the reveal, it's like, yeah, we could have figured it out. He wanted to keep the gold for something. Kevin Bacon's the bad guy. They take it to Michael O'Malley, who works at the scoreboards at Fenway Park. That's Boston, right? Fenway Park. I don't know. But anyway, he gives it to Kevin Bacon, and that's the reveal. Oh, he's the bad guy. And then, like, all of a sudden, they're like, oh, he's a deado. I'm like, where did you make that leap? I mean, it's true. But what? Oh, just because just because he wants the gold, he's automatically a deado? I don't know. So, they go to Kevin Bacon's house. Kevin Bacon has been following around. Okay, one thing I want to note is, so the first thing they do before their mission is they take him to his funeral. Take Nick to his funeral. Of course, the first thing he does is try to tell his wife, try to contact his wife, but he looks like James Hong, so that doesn't work. Yeah, we find out later they have, like, avatars or something. Roy looks like a hot chick, and Nick is James Hong. Yeah. It's funny. It's not funny. It's funny. I find it funny, at least, because you gotta think, we don't say what, you gotta think that this woman is just at her husband's funeral and some weird old Chinese guy starts coming at her talking weird. That's a little funny. They do flash back to it too often, and so I find it weird that other deados see them like that. I thought that the deados see them regular, like looking normal. But apparently not, because Kevin Bacon also sees him as a James Hong. They show up at Kevin Bacon's house and they, confront him. They call him a deado, which I still don't understand how they came to that conclusion. If I missed the scene, let me know. But they just like, oh, he's a deado, and then they pull off the thing, and the whole house is being held up by this, and the house is, taken down. And, so they take the gold from his furnace, and they go take him back to be arrested, and it's a trap. Of course it is. It's a Trojan horse thing, and, yeah, they get the gold that's in there, and they take off. He's got, like, other deados working for him. One of them is Buzz from Home Alone, and their plan is to assemble the staff of Jericho. What have I become now that I've betrayed? No, I'm just kidding. So they want to assemble the staff of the Champion and use it to bring all the dead people back to Earth and let them stay on Earth. All the deados come back to Earth and stay on Earth. But also it's revealed that they need a sacrifice. And of course it's going to be Nick's wife, because of course it is. And then Kevin Bacon reveals to Julia, that's the wife's name, that he's a deado by taking pepper, snorting it. One problem: pepper is not a spice. Well, it is, but pepper does not make your food spicy. At least not by my experience. It gives a little pep. But when I think spicy, I think like cayenne pepper or something. He just takes regular ground black pepper and turns into a ditto. That doesn't make much sense to me because that, to me, pepper isn't spicy, really. I can see like red pepper flakes or something, but that just doesn't make any sense. So anyway, there's a confrontation. Julia gets stabbed in the back. So the blood starts going in the thing, the people coming down. Roy lassos what do you call that? Shovel steamer thing, bulldozer, pulls it down, breaks the thing, and because the gold was the staff of the champion. So, and it breaks the thing, and then Kevin Bacon gets blasted, and he's like, eh. And then you think that Julia's dead, but she's not. And you see Mary Louise Parker is disguised as the doctor, and yeah. It ends with Roy giving Nick a new avatar, which is a little girl. And I find that to be stupid because what if they have to go into like a strip club or a bar? Not gonna let a Girl Scout walk into there. I know it's supposed to be funny. But also, they don't come back to something, and you think they should have. When they're first introduced, Roy sticks out his hand like he's gonna shake Nick's hand, and Nick goes to shake it. He goes, "No, you gotta earn that. You gotta earn that." They don't come back to that at all. They don't come back to that. It's just, you gotta earn that. But he never shakes his hand. Alright, so, like I said, I enjoyed this film. For what it is, schlocky, goofiness. But there are some things that kind of get me, like certain little nitpicky things. But the most important thing that gets me is the CGI. Now, you compare this to Men in Black, right? People compare this to Men in Black. Men in Black, for the most part, used practical effects for its aliens. There are some CGI, like Mikey, stuff like that. But they use very minimal. Every single Ditto is CGI, and not good CGI. And even with Kevin Bacon, like, I see, like, running Dittos and stuff like that when they're chasing them, make them CGI, fine. But Kevin Bacon, from the moment he turns into a Ditto, is fully CGI. I find it unnecessary. You could have done some kind of makeup on him or something. No, it's stupid. And I want to point out that obviously Kevin Bacon was the main bad guy. As soon as he kills Nick, that's going to come back into something. You're not just going to let that slide. And as soon as the gold shows up, oh, Kevin Bacon's the main bad guy of this movie. You know it right away. It's too easy to figure out. He's up to something. The gold has to be a part of it. Yeah, it's too easy to figure out. But overall, I don't hate it. I don't think it's a terrible film. The reviews that I watched, they bash this film. And I just don't get it. Another thing. I'm calling you out, Jeremy Johns. Alright? Because you're just plain... I don't understand this criticism you gave. Alright? You say that Jeff Bridges and Ryan Reynolds have no chemistry? Bullshit, man. Bullshit. I think they have great chemistry. They work off each other very well. Not as good as Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith, mind you, but they do have good chemistry. I think it works. I don't think has good chemistry? Kevin Bacon and Ryan Reynolds. Yes, Ryan Reynolds is on autopilot. He's being Ryan Reynolds throughout the entire movie. But, be honest. Would you go see a Ryan Reynolds movie if he wasn't acting like Ryan Reynolds? No, you wouldn't. You expect him to act like this. There are a few jokes that make me roll my eyes a little bit. Roy's a little annoying at some points. Like, this guy, they're at his funeral, Nick's funeral. He's like, I'm just going to stand back and let you see this. Then he doesn't shut up. So talking about his funeral was coyotes chewing him into pieces. Sometimes, and there's, he talks with that voice like this to sometimes You kind of understand what he's saying, you know? No, that's sort of just back in my day. You know, that's Jeff Bridges being Jeff Bridges, but sometimes it's a little hard to understand. But other than that, I think it's fine. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. I don't think it's a terrible movie at all. I think it's okay. So now we got to pick out next week's review. So let's go ahead and pick it out. Okay, we got Purge. Wait. No, I gotta do the franchise for... It's the wrong one. This is the Franchise Friday pick ones. So that's the wrong one. Hold on. Oh, it's down. It's on the floor. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, with the actual Wildcard Wednesday one, which makes more sense because the Purge is a Franchise Friday. So we got... Ew. Okay, we got Waterworld. Waterworld. Okay, so that'll be next week. Waterworld. Yay! Looking forward to that. Kevin Costner and everything. So yeah, what are your thoughts on R.I.P.D? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.